In recent years, we've seen an increase in the visibility of student activists with the rise of social media. Engaging in political activity only on social media, though, is often known as slacktivism. Maybe you follow some people whose activism ends at retweeting. But Jessica Fernandez, a professor who studies youth activism and its relation to social media, sat down with us and explains how this is actually an opportunity to get young people more involved.
I think it's important for us to pay attention to that as adults, as educators, as, community members, to tap into the young people who are circulating these forms of performative activism on social media, to really center them in an understanding of what the issues are and then how they can actually follow up with actions so that it doesn't become hollow.
My name is Kyla and you're watching Rebel HQ. Let's get into it. So Newsly recently posted a piece titled "Youth Activism Isn't New, Despite Its Social Media Prevalence Now." The piece highlights how youth activism and organizing has always been a really crucial part of social, political, and environmental change in America. They showcase the student-led Greensboro lunch counter sit-ins during the Civil Rights era, the anti-Vietnam War protests by students in Iowa, and more recently Greta Thunberg and United We Dream, the organization that was founded by young American immigrants in 2008, which helped bring about DACA and combat anti-immigration policies. The piece also calls out the fact that there are many youth organizations and youth activists that do not get media coverage, despite the steady rise of youth involvement and engagement according to a Tufts University study. The Newsy piece also makes an interesting claim about slacktivism, defining it as engaging in political activity only on social media. Something that young people like Gen Zs and millennials know a lot about. And it urged adults and educators to steer young people away from performative online activism. So I actually want to take that point a little bit further in asking adults and educators to also provide young people with resources to empower them in the work they do or want to pursue. Young people is a demographic with the least political power in our country, and it's even less if you're a Black or POC young person. And so it's easy for young adults to say, get off of social media, get off of your phone. But it's another thing to say, let me give you the tools and resources you need to actually organize and mobilize your community. And I think we need to see that a lot more. Why should we be talking about youth activism? Well, if you're a young person or you know a few young people, definitely pay attention to this next part. So for those of you who know or don't know, I organize with a group called Unpack. We are a nonpartisan organization of young people and students, educating our peers and ourselves about democracy reform, and then using that raised awareness to actually take action to end partisan gerrymandering, end the scourge of dark money, and create a system that actually represents us. I've seen firsthand the energy, the passion, and the determination that young people like me have in wanting to transform this nation into a place that prioritizes social, economic, environmental, and political justice. So why should you care? Well, first, I want to say that a strong progressive movement needs a strong and empowered youth arm to it. It is so important in sustaining and advancing progressive ideology in organization and activism. We definitely cannot let the likes of TPUSA corner the market on what youth activism should look like. Lastly, I want to highlight a progressive youth organization called Generation Vote. They were founded in New York by youth activist Brianna Sia. Gen Vote believes in the power of student-driven bottom-up organizing and seeks to expand the scope of political engagement through their unique model of civic engagement for students. They launched this week on Friday, so check them out on their website at genvote.org. And if you're a young person in New York, get connected. Youth activism has a rich history in this country because it moves us forward.